As more cases rise across the country, a vaccine is at the top of the list to get done. A new vaccine from Pfizer is in the works and could be here before we know it.
And we are breaking down Ohio's new curfew that goes into effect tomorrow. How this affects university operations coming up.
A Kent State fraternity lost their home in a house fire. We spoke with one of the victims after a GoFundMe went viral.
And as companies continue to move forward with COVID-19 vaccines, their stocks are also skyrocketing. All of this and more as TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good Wednesday evening. It's 6:01 p.m. and this is TV2 News. I'm Shane Troyano.
And I'm Gianna DaPra. Thank you for being with us. Tomorrow starts the 21-day curfew for Ohio and a result of rising COVID cases across the state. That curfew will run from 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. every night. So who does this impact? Well, people are expected to be home by 10, and retail establishments and certain businesses are expected to close at the curfew. Restaurants and bars are told to stop serving in-person customers at 10, but takeout can remain open past 10. Emergencies like work, grocery shopping, pharmacy, and carry-out food are all not included in the curfew. Violations of the curfew could be considered a second-degree misdemeanor with up to 90 days in jail and a $750 fine. And in the last 24 hours, Ohio reported 7,079 new cases of the coronavirus, and in addition, 30 new deaths. To date, there have been over 300,000 total cases. We have a 7-day average testing positivity rate of 12.8%, the highest it has been since April. There are more than 368 new hospitalizations with over 4,000 in the ICU. So that means right now Ohio is up to 72% of its hospital beds occupied.
And as this is the final week before most students leave for the semester, Kent State is urging students to get tested before they leave. This week, all COVID-19 testing at the Kiva will be open to any student. This is a change as for the past weeks, it was randomly selected students chosen to get the test. Testing will also take place from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. up until Friday. Now, if you cannot get a test at the Kiva, be sure to call the DeWeese Health Center to see if they can get you tested before you leave for home. And Governor Mike DeWine announced a new statewide curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. and Kent State is following his orders. On the Kent campus, the curfew will result in the university library changing its hours to close at 10 p.m., beginning Thursday before closing for break. The library will also have reduced hours following break, and dining services will continue to run under its current schedule. Kent State has warned that if people are caught breaking the curfew, they may have to deal with law enforcement. And Cuyahoga County officials have ordered a stay-at-home advisory to take effect immediately that will last through December 17th. This comes as COVID-19 cases continue to rise exponentially in the state, and the county has experienced a recent surge of hospitalized individuals. Even over the weekend, the county was unable to report coronavirus numbers because of the surge. This news also comes at the same time that Franklin County and Medina County also listed new stay-at-home orders for the next month.
A vaccine for COVID-19 has been at the top of the list, and some companies are making headway. Pfizer said they have a COVID-19 shot that is 95% effective and seeking approval soon. They say within days they are preparing to ask the U.S. regulators to allow emergency use of the vaccine. The shot is said to be safe and to protect the elders. Pfizer has also began sending submissions into Europe, the UK, and Canada. They expect to produce 50 million vaccine doses globally in 2020 and up to 1.3 billion doses in 2021.
And I think we have to look at this as a time of crisis. There is great news, and the great news in the last few days, we have seen two pharmaceutical companies that are telling us they're almost ready to roll. We expect to start getting some of the vaccine, we hope, in December. We're going to get that first out to our most vulnerable. That is the people in the nursing homes.
U.S. stocks were mixed in early trading Wednesday, and this comes after more good news on the coronavirus vaccine front, with the final analysis of Pfizer's new vaccine confirming it is 95% effective. The Dow gained 0.2% at the start of the trade, while the S&P 500 and NASDAQ were flat.
Good evening, Portage County. I'm Nathan Welsh with your weather forecast. So right now in Kent, it is 56 out, though it feels like 35. We're really getting into winter now. And with a dew point at 20, that gives us humidity at 45%. Now we have winds coming from east, south by southeast at 5 miles an hour and visibility out to 10 miles. Now, looking across northeast Ohio, we have varying temperatures all the way up to 56 here in Kent, but everywhere else we're looking at, 41 all the way up to 38 up in Ashtabula. Now, we look across Ohio, it's really more down to the 40s, and of course the 30s up here in northeast Ohio. And now tonight, it's just going to be cloudy and cold. Sorry, no stargazing facts for today. I mean, it's not really stargazing time anymore anyway. Going to be 34. We have, again, winds 10 miles an hour from the south. And, of course, we already missed that sunset. Now, I will have the rest of your forecast later. But for now, back to you, Shane.
Thank you, Nathan. Now, a Kent State fraternity is coming together after a home of some of its members was destroyed in a fire last week.
Thankfully, there were no human injuries in the fire, but the community is coming together to support the members.
Our Jenna Gobrecht has more. Hi, Jenna.
That's right. Around 3 a.m. last Saturday, flames engulfed a Sigma Chi Annex house on Willow Street, and the residents are still looking for answers.
The house, located just off the front of campus, is rented by a group of Kent State students, some of whom are a part of the Sigma Chi fraternity. According to the residents, they were awoken to the sound of smoke alarms early last Sunday morning. The back kitchen was completely engulfed in flames. The students all safely escaped through the front of the house, but a black lab named Atlas, belonging to junior Alex Jeffers, died in the fire. The university offered to house the students, but they all found friends to live with for the time being. Both the residents and the police are still unsure how the fire started.
I know that we had 2 detectives who were consulted on this and maybe took a look at it, but that's probably the biggest question that anyone is looking at. But like I said, we were consulted on that. We didn't find any cause for concern, nothing suspicious in nature. So we don't have an open investigation on that at this point.
According to Jeffers, the house is currently unlivable, and the students lost lots of their belongings in the flames. Friends of the residents started a GoFundMe to help raise money for the victims. As of this afternoon, they surpassed their goal of $8,000. Jeffers says he and his roommates are thankful for the help, saying, "The community has been coming together and helping us out so much. We won't be able to live in the house until May, maybe even later. We all wish we had more information about the situation, but the police are investigating."
To help these students, you can visit the GoFundMe donation link at the bottom of your screen or find it on Twitter at TV2 Jenna G. For TV2 News in Franklin Hall Studio, I'm Jenna Gobrecht.
Coming up on TV2 News, a U.S. judge ordered the Trump administration to stop expelling children who cross the border, how they're responding.
And we have the specifics on Delta Airlines extending another policy to slow the spread of COVID-19.
Don't touch that dial or close that browser tab. I'll have the rest of your weather forecast after the break.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore. And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible.
And then we're going to turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Finally won. What's your reaction gonna be? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world.
There's nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
Welcome back, Portage County. Boy Scouts, presidential firings, rapid COVID kits, and a special 90th birthday.
Gabby Jonas has more in today's National News Minute.
For a national news update, a 15-year-old girl from Florida accomplished what very few boys had in the last 110 years, becoming an Eagle Scout and earning all 137 merit badges. Boy Scouts of America opened up the organization to girls last year, where Hannah Holmes went far beyond the typical initiated Eagle member, earning 21 badges. Taking weeks and long hours, Holmes completed a veterinary medicine badge, hiking 100 miles badge, a plumbing badge, and many others. Less than 500 boys have completed all badges in history, Holmes being the first of 2 girls. Yesterday, President Donald Trump fired his senior cybersecurity official via Twitter, Christopher Krebs, who disputed against Trump's election fraud claims. Trump declared that the presidency was stolen from him through fraudulent ballots and software glitches that changed the outcome of the election. Krebs disagreed with Trump's claims and sided with the Department of Homeland Security, stating that the 2020 election was the most secure election in American history. FDA approved the first at-home rapid COVID-19 self-testing kit, called the All-in-One Test Kit. The test allows nasal swab samples for individuals ages 14 and older who are suspected of COVID-19 by their healthcare provider. Within 30 minutes, the test will light up and display if the individual is negative or positive. They can be read on the screen. Today is Mickey Mouse's 90th birthday. Mickey Mouse first appeared in Walt Disney's short film Steamboat Willie on November 18, 1928. The magical childhood mouse is celebrated by children and adults each year on this very day. Reporting from Columbus, Ohio, I'm Gabby Jonas.
Thank you, Gabby. Now, Delta Airlines announced today that middle seats will continue to be blocked on all of its flights through the holiday season and until at least March 2021, and it plans to limit its onboard capacity. The airline said it is taking precautions to give travelers reassurance that they are safe as the coronavirus pandemic continues to spread. Delta claims it is the only U.S. airline blocking middle seats for flights departing through March 30th of 2021. Originally, Delta only planned to block middle seats until January 6, 2021.
Several COVID-19 vaccine candidates show promise, but they come with some transportation hurdles. CNN's Fred Peligian takes a look at how German airlines are prepping to ship this precious cargo.
While the world's passenger airlines face an uncertain future because of COVID-19, freight airlines like Lufthansa Cargo are gearing up for a huge operation to try to help end the pandemic. In the coming months and years, airlines like Lufthansa Cargo face the daunting challenge of having to transport billions of doses of vaccine around the world. As a rule of thumb, they say, the colder a vaccine needs to be stored, the more difficult it is to ship it. Several vaccine makers believe they'll be able to apply for an emergency use authorization for their candidates soon. But Pfizer's vaccine, for instance, needs to be stored at around minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 70 degrees Celsius, requiring complicated cooling. Lufthansa says its pharma logistics hubs are equipped to handle ultra-cold medical cargo, using special containers like these packed with dry ice. Still, keeping them cold enough isn't easy, the head of the pharma hub says.
The temperature, minus 70 degrees, is really a challenge because we have to use dry ice in the bunker. We for sure need dry ice within the compartment, so we need more dry ice. We have another dry ice concentration on board the aircraft, so these are all things that we have to consider.
Another issue, the dry ice emits a lot of CO2 gas. That can be dangerous for flight crews inside the plane, so each cargo flight can only carry a limited amount of containers holding dry ice. The challenges are immense, but the airline says it's been building capacities and consulting with vaccine makers and thinks it's ready to start delivering vials as soon as a candidate gets regulatory approval.
Of course, this is a special situation, but given this, what we have done during the last month with all these masks, with all the flexibility, with all the things we had to produce and to perform on very, very short notice, our team, I believe, is ready for this challenge.
A massive logistical challenge as the world not only waits for a vaccine to be certified, but also to be delivered fast and in large amounts. Fred Pleitgen, CNN, Frankfurt, Germany.
Today, a federal judge ordered the Trump administration to stop expelling immigrant children who cross the southern border alone. This policy has deported more than 8,000 children during the months of this pandemic. This order only covers children who cross the border alone. It does not include the 147,000 adults, parents, and children traveling together. The Trump administration has argued this, saying it is to prevent the infection of border agents and others in the immigration custody.
Hello again, I'm Nathan Welsh, back with your weather forecast. So tonight we're pretty much just looking at clouds and some pretty cold temperatures. We're not really going to see any more snow, which is nice, but well, you probably wouldn't be going outside anyway. And looking into tomorrow, it's going to be pretty much what it was today, but with clouds. We're going to be seeing pretty much just around low 50s all the way up until tomorrow night. Now for the 7-day forecast, we're pretty much just going to be looking at clouds for the whole rest of the week. Unfortunate, but I mean there's some sun going to be in there. We only see showers on Sunday, and that's showers, not snow. So that's going to be good. We probably won't be seeing that for a while based on what we're seeing right now. It's just really going to be around 50s, 40s. It's going to be nice, comfortable Thanksgiving weather. Well, Thanksgiving break weather. We're not really seeing Thursday up here yet, but you know, it's going to be nice. So that's really going to be all for my weather forecast this evening. Thank you very much, and have a good week, Portage County.
With the wagon wheel happening last night at Dick Stadium, all bets were off between Penn State and Akron. Find out what happens on my sports report, and we're also going to touch the Cavs NBA draft.
Though the election was over 2 weeks ago, its results are lingering. How one Michigan county made their process unlike any other. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, Portage County. House Democrats nominated Nancy Pelosi on Wednesday as the speaker to lead them into Joe Biden's presidency. Pelosi would be guiding a smaller and divided majority as she tries leading his agenda. Democrats use a voice vote to make Pelosi their choice to serve 2 more years in her post, and it was the party's first virtual leadership election. Now, House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer and number 3 party leader Jim Clyburn were also on track to retain their positions.
And the saga that is the 2020 presidential election continues. In a stunning reversal, a bipartisan panel in Michigan's most populous county unanimously certified its presidential results on Tuesday night, hours after Republicans temporarily blocked certification. Melissa Rainey has the latest.
A bipartisan panel in Wayne County, Michigan, reversing course Tuesday night, unanimously certifying its presidential election results. The move just hours after two Republican canvassers made unverified claims of voting irregularities in Detroit. Democratic officials and nonpartisan experts immediately condemned the act, and the panel quickly changed course.
There has been no proof presented to our office or to the Board of Canvassers today of any irregularities, any widespread fraud, and any suggestion that there was is an effort to misinform the public and falsely erode the public's confidence in, again, what was a very well-run election.
The initial vote against certification drew the attention of President Donald Trump, who posted a series of tweets praising the move. The state of Georgia is on schedule to finish its audit of the presidential election by Wednesday. Election officials there say while they have found some discrepancies, those are to be expected and shouldn't change the results to favor Trump.
We found through the audit process in Walton County, an additional 176 that go towards the president right now. That still puts the margin at 12,753. And we have no indication really that there's anything broader than that. But this is why you do audits. This is to make sure that human beings, which are the most flawed part of our system, don't make errors. And that's why we have these guardrails in place to protect the integrity of the vote and the outcome of the vote.
Georgia plans to certify those results by Friday. I'm Melissa Rainey reporting.
Your TV2 Sports Report.
The Cleveland Browns have placed right tackle Jack Conklin, kicker Cody Parkey, and long snapper Charlie Houlet on the NFL's COVID-19 reserve. The NFL's COVID-19 list was created for players who have either tested positive for the coronavirus or have been quarantined after having been in close contact with an infected person or persons. The Browns' additions to the COVID-19 list comes 2 days after the team closed down its facility after a player tested positive for the coronavirus Monday morning. Their shutdown marked their second in 4 days.
Good evening, Portage County. My name is Austin Arnold, and this is your TV2 Evening Sports Report. Akron at Kent State, the matchup of the ages last night, and chance to win the wagon wheel. And after Kent State's win last year, they were looking to keep the wagon wheel back in Kent. We have the highlights right here, right now. Kent State coming out of the tunnel, and they were determined to retain the wagon wheel yet again. First touchdown of the game was Marquez Cooper from 3 yards out to put the Golden Flashes up 7-0. He had 3 touchdowns on the night, and this man absolutely showed out. But the Akron Zips did not fall off early as Zach Gibson, although he fumbles the ball here, an offensive lineman, Xavier Gray, would score the touchdown in the end zone to keep the Zips close in the first half. But Marquez Cooper, we just had the 1 touchdown. Here's his second touchdown from 19 yards out. And Marquez Cooper, he knew he was on a mission. He knew he was determined, just like this whole Kent State team. He goes and sits right next to the wagon wheel. And then to ice the game, another rushing touchdown, this by Xavier Williams from 49 yards out, zipping by that Akron defense. As the Kent State Gold Flashers go on and win this game by a final score of 69-35, they will play Buffalo next week in a game that can potentially decide the MAC East.
Making some mistakes that we obviously have to clean up and let things kind of be tighter than they should have been early on, but it was good to see guys kind of double down and kind of step up when we needed to and kind of pull away there in the second half.
Anytime you get a chance to win a rivalry game, obviously in that fashion, to let everyone know there's one team that runs Northeast Ohio, it's Kent State Gold Flashes. Really, really proud of our efforts.
And we are under 2 hours away for the long-awaited 2020 NBA Draft. The Cleveland Cavaliers currently own the 5th pick, and there have been some reports saying that they may want to trade back with New York to kind of retool and get some more value, but we won't know until tonight. The draft will be on ESPN. And that is all I have for my sports report. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at TV2KSU Sports for more sports action around Portage County. For TV2 Sports, I'm Austin Arnold, and have a great evening.
The holidays are coming up in a year, and everything is more difficult than ever before. 2 companies are teaming up to make a Thanksgiving dinner the least of your worries. Stick with us.
And something that might bring joy during these times may involve singing with your dogs. Stick with us as TV2 is back in 90 seconds.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Can we get strawberries? Okay.
Welcome back. Walmart joined with Ibotta for a Thanksgiving promotion this year. According to Ibotta, customers shopping for food at Walmart online can get 100% cash back on some items. To get the deal, first people have to download the Ibotta extension and link it to their Walmart account. The extension will tally up the rebates as customers shop at walmart.com. Ibotta says the same deals are also available using their app when you shop at a Walmart store. To learn more about the 100% cashback offers, check out Ibotta's website.
Well, if you get tired of listening to Mariah Carey, which I don't know how you could do, but who knows, you may be able to add another song to the playlist, but this one is for the dogs. Raise the Wolf is billed as the first Christmas single written specifically for our four-legged friends. And this song was made using scientific research into how dogs interact with sound. And early footage has proven that yes, dogs are raising the wolf.
In this Dallas area, Airbnb wants guests to feel alone, home alone. The Kevin is made to look like the famous home from the 1990 holiday classic. Each detailed room is meant to capture a scene from the film, but you might want to watch your step. The house does come armed with Kevin's signature booby traps. The owner has designed other pop culture themed rentals, but says this one is special. He says Christmas at the McAllister house was an idea he just couldn't pass up. The Kevin will be available for a limited time through the holidays.
And that'll do it for tonight's edition of TV2 News and our final Wednesday here in the studio. As always, thank you for joining us this semester.
For continuous updates and coverage on all things Kent State and Portage County, be sure to connect with us on social media at TV2KSU. I'm Gianna DaPra.
And I'm Shane Troyano. Have a great night, Portage County.
You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.